Hey y'all, this podcast contains potentially disturbing content. Our show includes graphic references to topics such as sexual abuse, self-harm, violence, eating disorders, explicit language, and sexual acts. Listener discretion is advised. This show is for mature audiences only.
Good morning and welcome back to another episode of the Queer LBC podcast. I'm your host, Nino. My pronouns are he, him. Thank you for asking. I have with me here my fabulous cohorts.
Yo, it's me, Christoph, your city top liaison. My pronouns are he, him, and that motherfucker.
Dr. Mikey here, your local licensed and practicing therapist for entertainment purposes only. My pronouns are he, she, all of them. So what's the T, sis?
The T is Today in Gay. Polish court rules same-sex marriages must be recognized. Today in Trans, UN overwhelmingly votes against U.S. proposal limiting definition of gender. Also in trans movie editor sues DreamWorks after being forced to work from home to avoid harassment. Also in trans, not so demure, trans influencer behind viral catchphrase says fame ruined my life. Today in transphobia, trans people are fleeing Kansas over demands to surrender IDs. Also in transphobia, Katie Couric confronts Gavin Newsom on his shifting views on transgender youth. And also in transphobia, India passes bill limiting trans protection and redefines who qualifies as trans. Today in What the Fuck, Trump admin threatens HIV positive Zambians if country doesn't cave to this demand. What the fuck? Today in Yas, Zoran Mamdani wants NYC to be LGBTQ+ sanctuary as he details big plans. Weren't they already been a sanctuary city?
You would think they
Right?
would be, but I don't think they were.
Also in What the Fuck, Act Up activists protest Palantir, and 72% of Americans support LGBTQ rights and protections.
Wow.
I guess that's not in What the Fuck, that's in Yas. Do any of you queens know about any of these things?
I don't know much about much, but I did see the movie Bad Guys 2.
What the fuck?
So, but wait, because it leads into the trans movie editor suing DreamWorks after being forced to work from home to avoid harassment. So a transgender assistant editor on DreamWorks, The Bad Guys 2, is suing the studio and parent company NBC Universal for alleged anti-trans harassment. The lawsuit filed last week in California State Court alleges that Parker Goldsmith was subject to multiple instances of gender-based harassment, primarily by their direct supervisor, John Vinson, while working on the 2025 animated film. Vinson, who is named as a defendant in the suit, worked as an editor on the film, but was ultimately fired, them reported. Goldsmith alleges that while still working on the film, Vinson reportedly sent them memes belittling their trans identity, outed them to colleagues, dad named them, and asked invasive questions about their transition. According to the complaint, Vinson's conduct, which allegedly included making jokes about transgender bodies, happened both in private meetings and among colleagues, creating a hostile work environment for Goldsmith. Goldsmith claims that the higher-ups at the studio witnessed the harassment but did nothing to stop it. When Goldsmith brought their concerns to human resources, they were allegedly told by an HR manager that coworkers had corroborated their version of events and that their company had failed them at every level. However, the complaints alleged that DreamWorks took no meaningful action for nearly 2 months, and instead, Goldsmith was forced to work from home, secluded from the rest of their team, according to Law 360. Our client brought this case to vindicate their right to work in an environment free from harassment and hostility based on sex, gender, and gender identity, and gender expression. Goldsmith attorney Elliot J. Rushfox told Law 360 the entertainment industry has long struggled with these issues. And even though speaking up can carry real professional risk, our client felt these rights were too important to remain silent. So
That's crazy.
First of all, the movie was good. I love a good DreamWorks movie. However, also like it's 2026, yo. Even though this happened in 2025, but like, damn, like you still doing this shit after Me Too movement? Like you have you not learned?
You know what's crazy is I have actually been on that campus multiple times, and I've been in those offices, and
I can only imagine.
And I felt the atmosphere in there, and that's why this is kind of like crazy to me, because the atmosphere doesn't feel like that. The atmosphere does feel open and nice and calm, and it feels like open and accepting. So that's kind of shocking to me. And so the fact that they feel so bad in 2025 that they have to go home to work because they've been shamed.
Right.
What the fuck? Like, everybody that I've seen in that office are just dumb little bitches who are just like tapping on their computer. You know what I mean? Like, that's how these like kind of studios work. Just a bunch of fucking white people tapping on fucking Facebook all day, essentially, you know, in their office. And they have to go home because they're trying. What the fuck? It's like crazy. That's crazy to me. That they would be mocked. That the person would even feel comfortable mocking them in the environment too, because I feel like you would know better in like an entertainment industry world.
Yeah.
That like, girl, what?
Yeah. And also HR is like, whatever, like, fuck your existence. We're not going to protect you. I mean, I'm not surprised. HR is really for the companies, is not for the employees. They're just trying to minimize the liability.
That's crazy, though. Fucking DreamWorks. You guys have been... They're falling off anyways.
Boycott DreamWorks.
Boycott DreamWorks.
No, it's DreamWorks and that motherfucker Vincent, the motherfucking editor. Was he an editor-in-chief or whatever the fuck he was?
Fired.
This is what he looked like. He looked like a motherfucker that'd start some bullshit for no goddamn reason.
Yeah.
It's always a big, white, bald-head ass motherfucker who always want to be in somebody's goddamn face.
And it's wild, you know, that this is happening. And then we have this article talking about how 72% of Americans support LGBTQ rights and protections. But here we are finding the exceptions, you know? So a report based on more than 22,000 respondents shows that the support of same-sex marriage continues to rise, now sitting at 65% nationally, up from 53% just 11 years ago. While Democrats and independents overwhelmingly support marriage equality, Republicans still remain split with 49% in favor.
Interesting. Wait, I didn't even hear anything you said.
At the same time, 59% of Americans oppose allowing businesses to refuse service to LGBTQ people. And the clear majority, 71%, agree that trans people deserve the same rights and protections as other Americans. But support drops when it comes to specific policies.
Right. So, like, what the fuck?
You can have rights as a treat.
Yeah. But that makes no sense. You can have rights, but not all the rights. Not like, how are you going to cherry pick that?
Fucking crazy.
But I think that shows progress at the very least, that it's going up and up and up.
Yes, I do understand that. However, I feel like the 38% of the motherfuckers who don't support it is the motherfuckers that's in these offices that people vote for that's not making change. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, if we're not voting for the right motherfuckers to be put in places, those are the 38 motherfuckers that continue to keep down us getting our rights and protections.
But I feel like opinions about queer people is less about like who we vote into politics and more about how we're being represented in the media.
Yeah.
And how news is talking about us and how Hollywood is talking about us and shows us.
The way we're propagandized.
Yeah, exactly. I think that needs to change in order to get like a higher percentage of acceptance.
That is true. That is true. That is true. And I think it's probably going to keep going up. I mean, or I don't know. That's probably not even, you can't even say that, huh? You can't just assume that things are going to get like better. Better.
And also like this is a very small sample. Like, was it 22,000 people who were sampled? So it's like a very like,
right.
Of 300, how many millions of people are there in America?
Right. Of all the people who are saying, yeah, I'll answer the question about you.
Yeah,
Queens.
Exactly.
You want to talk about queens in this poll? No.
But it was also like a religion post. Like, you know, like in religion per se, it was more like, because wasn't it like from the Public Religion Research Institute? So I think it was like religion based. They're getting more comfortable with homosexuality and queerness versus you know, how back in the day it was shunned upon. Like a lot of religions are being more, I guess, open-minded in a sense.
Maybe possibly.
They're truly now focusing on what God actually said, which is love thy neighbor.
Oh, so their hate campaign?
Right, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know, though. The Pope is over here,
yeah, so like...
being all wibbly-wobbly on like his perspective on queer people.
Pretty lame.
I mean, yeah.
The United Nations, this is from Pink News. The United Nations have overwhelmingly voted against considering a proposal from the United Skanks that would ask UN member states to define gender as referring to only men and women. The U.S. introduced a resolution on the final day, because you guys are bitches, the final day of the UN's 70th Annual Commission on the Status of Women and its Women's Rights Conference on March 19th. In a draft seen by publication Pass Blue, the U.S. noted the many meanings or connotations of the term gender that have become common in recent years and that are different from accepted prior usage. It claimed that the Beijing Declaration on Women's Rights from the 1995 defined gender as such, but a letter from the Women's Rights Caucus sent to delegates last week said that the commission did not hold specific definition of gender. According to Pass Blue, International Crisis Group Gender Director Crystal Downing said that the member states agreed to disagree on the definition of and were more comfortable with leaving the term open to interpretation than they were with any attempt to create a shared definition.
Oh my God.
Nice. When it came to U.S.'s resolution, Belgium's representative said that it was factually incorrect and that attempts to rewrite the Beijing Declaration. Belgium called for a no-action motion to stop the proposal moving forward. Get it, Queen? A total of 23 countries voted with Belgium, while 17 abstained, and just 2, Pakistan and Chile, voted in line with the United States. I see you both. Speaking to DevEx on March 19th, Maria Paula Perdomo from LGBTQ organization Outright International said it was a huge moment of the world telling the U.S. that it stops here. We follow the rules, and you want to bring this, do it appropriately, do it due process, and bring it with truth. As reported by Pass Blue, some of the member states that abstained from voting, including Italy, did so as the United States failed to follow due process in presenting the motion, but noted that their national policies aligned with the U.S. Oh, fuck you too, Italy. The end. America's so stank. Why we gotta... We want to define gender. Why are you gonna go to the UN and even talk about that?
There are way bigger things that are way more important.
And then you do it on the last day too, because you're a little pussy. Because you don't want to have to see everybody the rest of the conference, I guess.
Right. But it's also like... Also, these countries who are choosing to stand up against America on this topic, it's like also there's way also bigger things you can take a stand on. Palestine, Congo, Sudan, right? And this is where you decide to stand up against America. Come on.
Stupid ass issues.
Yes.
So lame. Gender.
Right. It should have been like, next.
Yeah. They're like, we're not hearing turn off the mic on the US.
Yeah, right.
They're just babbling at
Muted.
this point. We are just babbling at this point, aren't we? America? If
Yeah,
America was a human being.
They follow suit of their leader.
America's a boomer.
Because all he do is ramble. So, of course, they going to just get at the fucking UN and just ramble about some bullshit that don't even fucking matter.
America has dementia. America does have dementia. Put grandpa to sleep. What else do y'all know about? Did you see Afro Man in his America suit?
Look. That suit was crazy. However, the way he gathered them motherfuckers was amazing.
Tell us, what did you see?
I mean, did y'all not see the clips? It was just like, he made a song about the motherfuckers from the video footage of when they raided his house unlawfully and with no evidence of any crimes being committed, which they found nothing. Then gonna try to sue this motherfucker just because he used his own footage of them raiding and fucking up his house. And they gonna try to sue him because the likeliness of them was some bullshit they was talking about. It caused them hurt and pain from their kids having to
listen to a song. Listen to a song.
Right. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, the way he just, he was the epitome of just like how you should just, he was emotionless. Like, he didn't have really no emotion. Like, he didn't let them get to him, but he responded in a direct way that it was just like, and then what's next?
Mm-hmm.
What's next? But yeah, like, he should run for president.
That was a fun little moment
It was.
that he got his.
Well, I didn't follow it if he, like, if the case is still going, if he won.
Really.
Hopefully he won, but, you know, America.
Did you see this thing about, what the hell is her name? Demure girl?
Oh, yeah.
I'm not laughing at her. I'm just laughing at her.
Okay.
So basically it's talking about how she's essentially blaming Hollywood and being famous for, I guess, getting on drugs and becoming an alcoholic, which she probably already was anyway, as a
Right.
trans or gay person.
Now you can just afford it.
Now you can just afford your fucking shit. And then, yeah, she's just saying, oh, the whole thing ruined my life and fame isn't what. And I just was doing drugs because that was the environment. And I'm like, girl, you control your fucking self. I've been in that environment too. And I
Yeah.
didn't get hooked on coke.
Yeah.
Didn't even try it.
I mean, I think that if you have a history of it, then of course you're gonna be tempted if you put yourself in the environment,
Yeah.
right? I don't know their background, but I think for you to lose control and not be able to control yourself means there's probably something that was already floating around. Mhm.
Right there. Because even when the video came out, it looked like, it wasn't like, in my opinion, she wasn't really giving demure during the presentation of the video. You know what I'm saying? Like, it looked like you must, like, she just probably came off a night of partying. So I don't think like that led her, but just like you said, she was able to afford it.
Yeah, I heard like other weird stuff about her, like before the demure shit came out, that she's like also just a sus character.
Mm.
Usually, well, just like people just like when they get that
Influencer fame.
that influence and status, they,
Yeah.
you know, I think a shift, and you can probably speak to this, like a shift in their mindset changes because now they're being recognized and they're being noticed and their likes and their clicks is going up and promotions, and not promotions, but endorsement deals is coming in. And it's just like, oh, okay, like I'm that motherfucker now. But then also it's like, well, if you don't have that work ethic per se, that you got to put business before pleasure, then it could wreck you.
Yeah, I think it's about like who you surround yourself with too, right? Because we do need to acknowledge that like Hollywood does have a high tendency of like actors using substances and drugs, right? Look at like Drew Barrymore, look at all the actors who have died of overdoses, right? So there is a certain truth in the reality that like there is a higher rate of use in these spaces and in these areas, but it's also like who you're surrounding yourself with. You know?
That's true. I feel like when I was like in the industry, it was like everybody was extremely open about their coke use. And I was like, what the fuck? I was shook with like how they were just talking about it at work. Like, we're at work and you're talking about like sniffing coke. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, bitch, we're at work. Like, why are you talking about this out loud? Like, everyone can hear you and you're not even worried about it. And like, that's how people are. And it's like, everybody knows that everybody does whatever the fuck kind of drugs. But it's also like, and like, I don't know. It was also crazy to me how like people just openly drink or have like bottles of alcohol on their desk.
Oh, like at offices and shit.
And I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, I'm a worker and I have to not be, I am not allowed to be drunk or on drugs. So what the fuck? But I mean, I do understand. Yeah. Like it is a druggy world, like to be around, but also like, girl, if you didn't want to do blow, you probably shouldn't have done it because we all know how addictive that kind of shit is. And she also said something about going to afters. And I was like, girl, you know what the fuck happens at afters.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't go to afters.
Everyone is high in afters. Come on.
Okay. But I'm glad that they made that switch and was able to see that it wasn't getting better and that she made the decision to change and get her life back on track so that they could start making more content and things of that nature. I don't know if that's the right choice because if more content is going to give you more endorsements, then
Mhm.
did you really hit the main issue? Like, are you working towards sobriety?
Yeah, because you can't claim that this type of work is what's leading you to drugs and then do this kind of work
And continue to go back into it without
like you have to
getting
blame
the-
yourself
or
at
getting
some
the work
point.
done.
Gotta
So
blame
hopefully
yourself.
she does.
Yeah.
As I just talk mad shit. I don't know, something about reading that article, like I was like, bitch, shut the fuck up. Like
Mhm.
you're just wanting attention right now.
Like I seen the video, I seen the post that she made, like the video itself,
Oh, did you?
and it was just like, yeah, and it was just like, oh wow, like,
Did you? I didn't see a video. I just saw an article written about.
oh, so yeah, I seen the video, and even in the video, you still look disheveled, but that's also how you looked at the beginning of
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
the look didn't change, but you know,
The look didn't change. What is that supposed to mean?
I mean, like
you didn't get thin from all that coke use? Is that what you say?
No,
I
that there wasn't a glow
But
up.
they were right. There was
Dress
right.
nicer,
Exactly. It was
get-
no glow up.
Yeah.
There was no demure. There was no. Wait, what is it? It's giving demure. It's giving. That's only one word I remember.
Yeah, I only remember demure. I know there's another word.
Yeah, she was just like, I'm like, why are we trying to be demure? Why are we trying to be demure women? We need to be feral, not demure.
Feral. Did y'all hear about the interview between where Katie Couric confronts Gavin Newsom on his shifting views
She got in his ass
on transgender youth?
What?
Yeah, so she was interviewing him, and because obviously he's gonna be running for president. Like they are booting him in the front of the line.
Well, we don't know because
It's gonna be like how it's been all the past few years, where they put like 8 people in, and it's like a battle royale until we pick someone. That's
Until
what's gonna
the
be.
government
Pick
secretly
someone.
picks them for us. Yeah,
exactly. So she was reading how someone put in a comment of how this trans writer or this person that wrote in is trans, and they were calling out Newsom about his LGBTQ allyship because of his stance against trans athletes.
Yes.
And he came back, he was like, well, I have a trans godson, and I signed in all these legislations protecting LGBTQ people.
I saw that and I was like, sis, but you're still going on like right-wing podcasts talking about how you don't really fuck with trans.
Right, because was his grandson new?
I know,
Where
right?
did this motherfucker come from? Because your views, what you said is what you said.
Yeah.
And what you said
But
wasn't
wasn't his godson, right? Not
It was
even
his godson.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was his
godson.
godson.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, shit, right. Your
It sounds-
godson didn't fucking pop out of nowhere.
Right.
My godson. Like, girl, your godson?
Yeah. And I think there's certain topics where we need to have 100% allyship. Like you can't just pick and choose.
Exactly.
And that's my thing with it, right? Like, okay, I love that you are an ally and you did all this legislation, but you are still discriminating against trans people and trans athletes, and you're still reiterating this rhetoric that is harmful to people and that is being used to dismantle trans rights, even though it's not accurate.
Pretty lame. Yeah, like when I saw that, he was like, I've had the most, like, the great trans record, basically. And I'm
Love
like,
it,
girl,
okay.
like, what?
Yeah, that's fine, but it's blemished. It's not 100%.
Right. It's not straight.
So do
It's
it.
not- right.
Be 100%, and then you're fine. That's all you gotta do.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty weak response from him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like she could have pushed harder and be like, well, what about this interview where you said this?
Yeah.
Like, girl, you could have quoted.
Yeah.
But she did not.
The media is not gonna. They're lucky they even pushed them that much.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
That's a whole fucking news story just because someone finally pushed a politician.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've been like, I feel like I follow a couple like essentially Democratic propagandist YouTube channels that like just talk about Democrat stuff and like stuff like that. And they all love to talk about Gavin Newsom, but they don't even ever mention his transphobic shit. And I'm like, why? And I put in the comments too. I'm like, why don't you get on to Gavin Newsom about his trans shit? And they don't. They don't fucking ever ask. I'm like, bitch. Or maybe they're just not paying attention. They don't even know.
Right.
Well, I think that shows where people are, right? Like, not everyone's ally, and I think not everyone is looking for
that information or trying to even hear that part of the information.
Or even noticing like the most oppressed groups, and that shows their level of privilege, right? If you're not asking what is your stance on Black trans women, then you are not looking out for the most vulnerable in our community.
Exactly.
She should have been like, oh, so do you tell your godson that they can't play in sports?
Yeah.
What the fuck? What would he have said?
Right.
Yeah, right? Yeah, right? Yeah, how would your godson feel?
Right.
Yeah.
How would you feel if your godson came into you like, damn, I tried to play this sport, but they won't let me
Yeah.
because of the bill you passed?
Also, when are people gonna stop using that? Like, oh, I'm not this because I have this in my family.
I'm not
right?
racist. I have a black friend.
Right.
Okay, yeah, that's
Like-
pretty much what the fuck he said.
Come on, y'all.
Right? I'm like, this imaginary godson you just made up.
Yeah.
I'm like, did you use godson because there's no way to trace who that person would relate
Right.
to? Because if you said, oh, my nephew, you'd be able to find that person, but godson isn't on the papers. This person on the bus that I saw was trans, and therefore I'm really trans friendly.
I'm not transphobic. I gave reduced bus fare to them.
I know, what the hell? Also in trans people are fleeing Kansas over demands to surrender IDs.
Just now?
I know, just now. Takes a little time to get some money together. Trans-Kansans are reportedly leaving the U.S. state in droves after thousands had their driver's license forcibly revoked. The Midwestern state revoked more than 1,700 IDs this month after handing letters to thousands of citizens demanding they surrender their driving licenses. It comes after lawmakers passed SB 244, a sweeping anti-trans bill banning Kansans from using public toilets and locker rooms consistently with their gender identity. The bill also allows residents to submit bounty-style lawsuits against anyone they spot in facilities who they believe are transgender or non-binary. Trans people in Kansas could face up to 6 months in jail if they don't surrender their IDs.
That's wild.
I know, what the fuck?
That is wild.
Give us the thing that we gave you
Yeah.
or go to jail. The fuck?
Hey, bitch, you better come and find this motherfucker.
And this is why the U.S. is pushing for a specific definition of gender in the UN, right? Because then they get to alleviate, oh, we're not the bad guys. This is what the UN says. This is what the world agrees
Bitch, that's what you went to go do.
Yeah, right?
They won't worry about
Exactly.
that bullshit.
Be like, I'm pretty sure the UN is more concerned with human rights than... Are they?
No.
Mm,
No. If they were, then the world would be much different.
true. In response, the Kansas Division of Vehicles informed trans residents that their licenses were now invalid immediately and must be exchanged for new licenses documenting their birth sex. For those who continue to drive without surrendering their licenses could face additional penalties, including $1,000 fine or even imprisonment. Trans Kansas Jalen Ebig, who received a letter demanding her license be revoked, said she plans to move to another state later this month and refuses to surrender her ID. I'm pretty heartbroken, the 41-year-old told NBC News. It is a continuation of the message that the legislature has been sending out for years now, and that is that transgender people are not welcome in Kansas. Another woman, Andrea Ellis, said that upon traveling to the DMV to have her license changed, staff were confused over what to do, eventually giving her a temporary license with no changes.
How do you confuse?
What?
Like, obviously these states are just shouting their hate and they're not even updating the actual
People who do the
work.
Yeah.
Like, that's ridiculous. Matthew Newman, a Kansas-born trans man, said that he refuses to leave the state over the legislation despite being threatened for using public toilets. I'm just disappointed and frustrated, he said. I'm just hoping that maybe this is a wake-up call that we need. Kansas anti-trans law poorly drafted, governor says. Lawmakers passed the widely criticized bill despite Governor Laura Kelly vetoing it in February, which was overturned by the Republican majority. The Democratic governor said that the law was poorly drafted and that the provisions were ripe for abuse that would have consequences far beyond the intent to limit the right for trans people to use the appropriate bathroom, of course. The law will undoubtedly impact many others who are targeted with animus, whether or not they are transgender. Meanwhile, leaders ignore real challenges facing families, she continued. This was sadly politics over people, but we will keep fighting for dignity and freedom for all LGBTQ people. Multiple cases have emerged across the UK and the US over the past year as anti-trans furor over toilet usage has grown louder. It may be involved with many involving cisgender and transgender individuals. In August last year, an 18-year-old cisgender lesbian said that she was forced to expose her breast to a staff member in Buffalo Wild Wings who began banging on the toilet stall as she was occupying,
Girl.
yelling that a man needs to get out of here. What the
Bitch,
fuck?
go and flip them goddamn wings and get the fuck up on my face.
You never seen a butch fucking lesbian in your fucking life? The fuck? Two anonymous trans Kansas sued the state over the bill's passage last month, arguing that it violates human rights laws and autonomy and personal freedoms. Douglas County District Judge James Cabrera, I don't know, declined to grant a temporary restraining order against the law's reinforcement while the case proceeds earlier this week.
So it hasn't even really passed yet.
They were suddenly required, with no notice or opportunity to be heard, to present themselves to the DMV to obtain driver's licenses that announced to everyone, the teller in the bank, the clerk at the hotel, the poll worker on the election day, that they are transgender.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's wild because people continue to have this cognitive dissonance of like, passing these laws aren't going to affect me. But look at this situation. Like a cis person was forced to expose themselves in order to prove their gender, right? You don't think people are going to continue to do that? And you're talking about how there are people who are going to harm trans people, are predators, right? So you don't think there's predators in the cis male world who are going to use this to their advantage? You're just setting up a situation where you're going to harm women.
And then it's just like it's like, it's so frustrating because it's like this whole gender bullshit. It's like you're defining what you think on your own personal opinion what a woman is, because you can see a fucking cis woman. It doesn't even matter if they're like a butch lesbian. It could be a regular ass lady who just has a blank face, no makeup on, a bad haircut,
or just look at her daddy.
And then they're gonna fucking scream and call them a man.
Right. There's women out here that like their daddy. So, like, just because of that, you want to, like, I was trying to make a joke, but...
Also, what the hell are you doing in Buffalo Wild Wings, girl? You know that shit's homophobic as fuck. Get the hell out of there.
So good.
It's not even fucking real chicken. And you
Is it homophobic as fuck?
I don't ever feel fun party vibes. I just feel like
sports.
Dominant, straight, hetero...
I go for the wings. I don't go for the sports.
I mean, that's what most people do. If you have fucking Buffalo Wild Wings watching sports, then you got other issues. Shit.
Oh, man. Did y'all hear the Polish court rules foreign same-sex marriages must be recognized?
Hooray.
So in Poland, same-sex marriage is not allowed under domestic law. A 2012 ruling by Supreme Court gave same-sex couples limited legal rights with regard to the tenancy of a shared household. But on March 20th, Poland's top administrative court ruled that public authorities in the country must recognize same-sex marriages performed in the EU by entering them into Poland's civil registry.
Nice. Did y'all hear about activists in New York protested outside of Palatar's NYC office on the 21st, calling out cuts to HIV funding as billions continue to go towards ICE and war. We think those priorities are way out of line with American priorities, Eric Sawyer, a founder of ACT UP NY, told The Advocate. The action marked, ACT UP 39th anniversary and included a die-in of protests where participants lie in the street, echoing tactics used by AIDS activists since the 1980s. Activists also honored Mark Milano, an HIV advocate who died in January after decades of organizing for people living with HIV. Looking ahead, hashtag ACT UP organizer Mark Haney said there will be more advocacy targets to come, calling Saturday's protest part of an ongoing effort. If you want to find more, you can go to @ActUpNY on all platforms.
Love it. We need to protest and they need to be disruptive.
Yes. Go ACT UP. They were on Pose. Billy Porter's character joined ACT UP. This is weird. So, disaster. Trump admin threatens HIV positive Zambians if country doesn't cave to this demand, by Daniel Villarreal. Let's see. So, the U.S. State Department may withhold life-saving HIV medications from Zambia as early as May to pressure the Southern African country's government into allowing the U.S. to access its critical minerals. According to the State Department memo cited by the New York Times, we will only secure our priorities by demonstrating willingness to publicly take support away from Zambia on a massive scale. The memo created by the department's African Bureau says an estimated 1.3 million Zambians rely on U.S. HIV medications provided by the U.S. President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief, PEPFAR, an HIV prevention program that the Trump administration has illegally defunded. The Trump administration's State Department has pressured countries to renegotiate the foreign aid agreements upon requiring them to increase their own health spending. But while 24 countries have agreed so far, others like Zimbabwe have refused, calling the renegotiations an intolerable infringement on sovereignty, the Times reported. The new agreement would provide $1 billion in health funding to Zambia over the next 5 years if Zambia spends $340 million on its own domestic health spending. Additionally, the agreement would demand that Zambia give American businesses access to its mineral mines, something that Zambia has previously granted to China, which is seen as a key component to developing renewable energy technologies. Zambia would need to agree to these conditions by May, the memo states. The State Department refused to answer the aforementioned publication's questions on purportedly leaked documents or on deliberative diplomatic discussions. The Zambian government also declined to answer the publication's questions. Sharp public cuts to American foreign assistance would significantly demonstrate to aid receiving countries the seriousness of our interest in collaboration and our insistence on tangible benefits under our American First foreign policy, the memo states. God damn.
It's like always something like, do for me or I'm going to fuck you over.
Right?
And it's all about fucking minerals, oil, this, that, make my fucking pockets richer. It's like a fucking broken record.
Especially since we already gave them that with, like, you fucking, how are you such a piece of shit that you give somebody a gift and then you're like, actually now, 1,000 years later, you got to give me access to your wife because I gave you something nice. Like, girl, bye.
Get the fuck up out of here, right?
Or else I'm going to take it away. What the hell?
Child,
That's pretty dirty. Currently, companies and investors from U.S., Canada, and Europe have complained that Zambian government officials give Chinese businessmen mining licenses, oh no, in exchange for bribes, allowing the companies to smuggle minerals without paying taxes, boo-hoo. Bitch, that's exactly what you want to do. So you're just mad because you didn't get it first.
Exactly.
Zambian activists have reportedly sought to make the proposed health agreement public as a way to highlight U.S. pressure and local corruption. Activists are reportedly concerned about the proposed deal requirements that Zambia provides its citizens' health data with the U.S. for 10 years and biological specimens collected through the disease surveillance for 25 years. Despite no promises that Zambia would benefit from any health advancements created by this information. If this agreement is not signed, if funding is not there for the next 5 years, government has got no capacity to respond to that immediate impact, said Julius Kachides, a 56-year-old advocate for people living with HIV. Could be quite disaster, especially to me and the majority of people living with HIV in Zambia. That's fucking crazy. You guys are assholes.
It's fucking crazy.
Anti-American sentiment. Can you hear it?
Did y'all hear about Madami wanting NYC to be a sanctuary city?
The thing they already claimed that they were, like, didn't we always read these things all the time that they're always claiming to be sanctuaries?
Apparently. I thought, right? I agree. Mandami goes on, as part of his policy, outlines that his administration will be committed to protecting all queer people in the city, for those who have been lifelong residents to those who have just arrived here in search of a place where they can receive medical care and live and thrive without the threat of persecution and bigotry. The principles will be codified by making NYC an LGBTQIA sanctuary city. In recent years, several cities right across the U.S. have become sanctuary cities to ensure that LGBTQ plus residents are protected, which includes Lake Worth Beach in Florida, Worcester in Massachusetts, and California capital Sacramento.
Interesting.
Which is kind of crazy because I've seen an article on Instagram earlier today that said that, like, NYC cops are not there to protect NYC residents.
No.
So I'm like, well, how you gonna make that if motherfucking residents alone can't get protected by the cops? Why would that be a sanctuary city for motherfucking LGBTQ plus I?
Well, the reality is cops are only there to protect property,
Right.
and then to maintain the other poor humans from, I guess, causing too much ruckus in the streets. And then when they get phone calls about whatever, then they casually show up 30 minutes later to write a report for some reason. I don't know what the fuck cops do.
They supposed to hold up the constitutional law, but
did you see all them? Oh yeah, so that's why ICE is all up in these airports.
That's fucking crazy.
That's ridiculous.
Like if you can't keep the ICE out of LaGuardia or whatever the fuck it is, then I think you should stop huffing and puffing.
Big bad wolf.
That's kind of psycho that they're in the airports. Isn't like any fucking visitor to this country is an illegal immigrant according to the Trump administration. Any person who does not live in the US that has no paperwork that's saying that they're a citizen or trying to get citizenship, a tourist is technically an illegal immigrant in their eyes. So why wouldn't they just like on the boarding plane that coming out of wherever just arrest them all?
See, I think they're trying to get the motherfuckers who are already here. Because that is a good question. Because, however, if a tourist is coming in.
I have a visa.
Right. But
if somebody's leaving the country, right, why would they care? Because allegedly they want them out. So why would they care if they're exiting the country? They already try to pay them to leave, right?
I don't think it's about exiting. I think what they're really trying to do is get, they had the face scans, right? I think what they're really trying to do is to get the interstate travelers, right? To get migrants and immigrants, people who are undocumented, who are traveling state to state. I feel that's what it's really about. And I think they are going to be probably selective in who they're going to screen.
You're saying like, okay, I'm going to fly to fucking...
Yeah, I'm going to visit my family in
New Jersey.
Exactly.
And I'm going to fly to
New York, right? I mean,
right.
That's who they're really trying to catch.
That's crazy. And just like having a horrible, oppressive presence everywhere. Like, why the fuck? We know why. Why do I ask?
It's fucking crazy.
Why the fuck is this happening? We know why it's happening.
And it is crazy because I just had like a friend of mine just post that unfortunately his husband, his best friend, his family was taken by ICE over a month ago. Mm-hmm. And the facility where he was held is where a 19-year-old teenager just committed suicide while in ICE custody.
Damn.
In Florida. You know, it's just sickening that this is happening in our country. And it's just like, what the fuck are we doing? We were supposed to be the melting pot of the world. Freedom for all. America is the greatest.
That was never true,
it
though.
You're right. It was never true.
Yeah. I mean, look at how Ellis Island, right? You know, look at how indigenous people are treated. Look at how black people are treated.
What the hell was Ellis Island all about? Because, like, I mean, I've been there and I learned the history when I was in middle school. But I'm like, why are y'all pretending like this was like some amazing, like fantastical journey that these brave souls took and like selling it so hard when you fucking hate immigrants? Like, why are you selling us so hard on that? I don't know. Maybe that was just like the one museum that was trying to sell that. I don't know.
I mean, they have to whitewash this history to make it digestible, right?
Because even when you learn about the history of Ellis Island, they're always like, oh, and then they had to change their last name because it was unacceptable to have whatever ethnic name they did have.
Right, yeah.
Like, what the hell? How's that so... How is that aspirational?
Right.
Not this white on white crime.
I just seen this random meme. It says, Tehran agrees to open Strait of Hormuz if Chapel Roan apologizes to kid. Did you hear about this?
No.
What? There's this huge drama that like her security guard like told the kid like don't be taking pictures of her. And the kid had like a bad experience with it because they were going to go see her that night. And they didn't even go to the concert. But then it ended up being like Jude Law's daughter or somebody's daughter. I don't know.
Some famous soccer player's niece or daughter. And so then he got involved, and then she came out with this little cry baby hotel side of my story. Like, oh, that wasn't even my security guard. I really didn't. I never seen a mother and a child. Nobody never came up to me. Even though that could be true, your track record says that you always telling motherfuckers this and that when they come up to either say, I love you, congratulations, this, that, and the other. Like, I've seen so many videos, but then again, I don't know if that's true or not, but everybody can't be lying. So now she like,
I also heard there's a big smear campaign against her because she just like dumped her pedophile, what is it, record label?
Record label or something like, yeah.
I can see that happening too.
That makes sense.
Oh, Chapel. I mean, I'm still singing your songs in the car, so it's, I mean, I'm not trying to have kids take pictures of me either. You know what's so funny though is like people are kind of getting on her about that whole like, oh, don't take pictures of me and you don't like fame, but in reality, like if one random person, right, on the street took a photo of you, you would be extremely upset.
Mm-hmm.
And like the amount that Karens on videos get like enraged when there's a camera in front of them, they're falling on like going literally insane on camera. It's like, I mean, it is stressful to have people whip a camera out on you and you're just trying to live your life. So I can see. But I mean, if you're also trying to be famous, girl, are you trying to be famous?
I mean, I think
Not for long, I don't think.
Right. I think that if you're just because you're famous doesn't mean that people get access to you 24/7.
Okay.
Correct.
Because I think you're putting out an art, and the art that is being put out just happens to be your personhood.
Mhm.
But also, like the way she decides to do art, it's not even her personhood; it's a persona.
Right.
It's
not even fucking you.
Yeah,
we
exactly.
don't know the true you.
Exactly. So I think that just because we digest that and her art is presented in that way doesn't give us the right to have access to her in that way 24/7.
That makes sense, especially if it's a persona. Because like I'm not in my persona. I'm like not wearing the clown costume right now.
Yeah, exactly.
True.
I mean, yeah, some Americans do have social. It's called something like the social relationships or
like social anxiety.
Well, no, there's like they see you in something, they love you, and now they want to be with you. Or
the
like,
parasocial relationships.
Parasocial relationships and shit. Like recently, someone tried to propose to Kiki Palmer at a fucking TED Talk. I don't know if it's a TED Talk or nothing, but like even back in the day, this has been happening in the Hollywood, well, with actors and famous people, where people like
obsess
and then don't want you to be with nobody else. So then they like
they stalk
back
you,
in the day,
right?
like the 60s. One actress, she was young, she got murdered by a fan who just took it too far. So I do understand that point, but you also have to be mindful of how you deliver shit and how you talk when you're out here on social media. Because when you do it like that, like, oh, like, would you go and talk to somebody that you don't know and while they're eating and ask them? I mean, if I wanted to know, I would. Some people, like, I don't have no problem doing that.
Yeah.
Just because you may not have the social whereabouts to interrupt someone who may have, I mean, it's a place and time, but, you know.
Yeah. But I blame this on media because look at how I think people get this false sense of I know these famous people because of how they're portrayed in media. Like we know their deepest, darkest secrets. Like we know very intimate details that we would know of people close in our lives.
That's true. And some of them share it willingly and some of them don't. But then sometimes when this information come out, it's given to us. So, yeah.
Any listeners, don't fall in love with us. We don't love you back.
Unless you're cute.
Platonic. I don't speak for doctor.
The way this war is looking, get in my DMs.
Don't block these blessings.
Right.
Did you go to the big gay picnic?
Oh, yeah. So this Saturday, they had in Long Beach, they had the big gay picnic takeover over there at the Bluff at Cherry Park, or Bisbee Park. Great turnout. Beautiful. Weather was great. It was a lot of people. It was thrown by Long Beach Proud, Queer, and then like some, let me but I forget, right. But it was great. Like it was music. People brought like, you know, hanging out. And then afterwards, everything trickled out to the bars. So the bars were nice and packed.
Full.
And then also one thing that I've noticed, there's one great thing that I've seen on the Broadway strip. There's a new Latinx queer pop-up shop.
Ooh.
So all of the artists and all of the merchandise and everything is in there is either Latinx or queer. And they had everything from like plants, dips, like food dips, jewelry, hats, candles. Well, I don't know if I've seen candles. I think I just made that up. So if you're in Long Beach, go and check it out. It's right there on Broadway, right before you get to the bars, before you get to the sex shop. So if you know, you know.
Yeah.
So
I know
if you know, you know. So
know exactly what you're talking about.
So go and check it out. They have some amazing stuff. I'm going to go back and pick up some items it's great gift giving, a lot of things for yourself. So that was good.
That's
and then,
cool.
so it was a great time.
That's awesome. I also went to a queer event here in Long Beach. Let's Be Social. They put on a fundraiser at Syncopated Brewery here in Lakewood.
Oh, okay.
And the band that I play in, Chelozu, we performed there. And it was for a fundraiser. The fundraiser was for One Small Act, which is an organization here in Long Beach that fundraises to help families in need. And they're also fundraising for someone that got falsely arrested by the police as well.
Oh shit!
So they had a flash tattoos and a massage.
Shit. I love a flash tattoo.
Mm-hmm. And then we played, and then they had speeches, and they're doing advocacy work and informing people about what was happening here in Long Beach. So
great turnout.
Yeah, it was really
Perfect.
good turnout. Yeah,
Good.
yeah. And Syncopated Brewery donated a portion of what everyone drank to the cause and the organization.
Because Long Beach love to drink.
Mm-hmm,
So that was good.
So the lesbians still out here saving the world like they always did.
Always.
With their bank accounts.
Mm-hmm.
Here's something random I just saw. In a historic ruling, Greece has upheld same-sex marriage and equal adoption rights for LGBTQ plus people. On March 20th, Greece's highest administrative court ruled by a majority that the provisions do not violate the Constitution, emphasizing that the institutions of marriage and family do not remain static and unchanged, but instead develop alongside modern society. The court also said that extending civil marriage to same-sex couples does not undermine the institution of the family or the rights of heterosexual couples within the Orthodox Christian Church, noting that the participation in religious marriage traditions remains a matter of personal choice. The Council of State, which dismissed petitions from 2 associations and 1 nonprofit organization, challenged the law's implementation and also said that the same-sex adoption does not violate constitutional protection of childhood. Same-sex marriage and adoption became legal in Greece in 2024 under the law, and making it the first Orthodox Christian majority country to do so. This recent judgment serves as final judicial seal on the ruling, providing legal confirmation of the reforms. Thank you, the end. Thank you, Gay Times. Go Greece.
Get it, Greece.
You should be having gay marriages. You're the fucking OG.
Mecca gay, right?
You're the originator.
You originated the name lesbian.
But Christianity.
There you go.
Christianity.
Can't y'all just leave shit?
Nope.
Can't and won't.
Christianity over here slapping the dicks out of people's mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and then one thing, I think that event is going to be a pop-up, randomly, happen.
The
the
Latinx shop? Oh, the takeover? Yeah. That's cool.
I hope so, because it was a good turnout. Also, something that's going to be coming up in Long Beach is going to be some good news for trans people.
Oh, the job fair.
Yeah, Long Beach is going to be having a TGI2S Plus Job and Resource Fair on Thursday, April 23rd from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. at Billie Jean King Main Library at 200 West Broadway. Inclusive employers ready to hire, community organizations who offer services tailored to TGI2S Plus needs, workshops on employee rights and how to apply to city jobs. If you are interested, bring a current resume, your best professional look, and you can go to longbeach.gov to find more information, or at lbcity.info/TGI2S Job Fair.
Beautiful. Well, you guys have any other gay thoughts?
My thoughts are over. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm thoughtless. Not really.
Thoughtless or thoughtless?
Well, folks, I think that was a good one. All right, then, I'd like to say thanks to myself, Nino, Dr. Mikey, Christoph, from all of us here at the Queer LBC. You're good enough, you're smart enough, and doggone it, people like you. Good night.
Good night, Long Beach.
Sleep tight.